Fantastic to have you with us. Bex, if you were to be ordering Thai in a Thai restaurant, what's your go-to?
I actually don't have a go-to for Thai restaurants. I actually don't really like Thai, but I only started liking it when I started using my machine. And that sounds real corny, but it's the truth. It means I can like adapt the flavors and things. So yes. I eat it now. My favorite is the chicken and cashew on Recipe Community. That's my favorite.
That's a really good one. Really good, really popular as well. All right, you're going to kick us off with our first dish because I've lost my run sheet and actually
Alicia is kicking us off with the red Thai paste.
Going?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia. Do this again for all the newbies. I think I've said this a million times now, but Mama 3, live in East Auckland, part of the Team Turbo team, been a consultant for 4 or 5 months now. Love it. Love my Thermomix. Got a second one because the husband also loves it. Okay, so today I'm going to be making red Thai curry paste and then also using that paste as a part of a recipe, which I'm also making Chiang Mai noodles. I love that I can make these pastes because we're doing keto at the moment, and not only Michelle touched on how pricey some of the pastes are, it also a lot of them are full of sugar. So I can eliminate that by making my own. So I love that there's, oh, what's going on here? Sorry. One moment.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of what we get in the restaurants and that it's full of, well, I didn't know with the butter chicken that the reason it's so red is because they put so much red food coloring, and that really sends my boys off the charts. So, you know, I agree, the beauty of making it in your own home. As Bex was saying, she didn't even like it before now, is because you can control what goes into it.
Not only that, as well, butter chicken is also full with a lot of brown sugar as well. So the sweetness, they do that to take the tartness out of the tomatoes that's in it. Just a second, I just restarted my Thermomix because I don't know if I turned it off properly before. Right, let's do that again.
Chicken and cashew recipe do you use, Bex? Diane's wanting to know. If you can somehow pop that in the chat box, that would be amazing.
Okay, sure.
What we will do actually, ladies, is I will save the chat and questions, and then we will send out a little info email like we did before, just sending through what recipes we've used and some of the tips and tricks that we've shared. Obviously, we don't remember to write everything down, but we'll do our best.
So, sorry about that. I've got my 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds that we're going to put in here. And it says without the measuring cup, I'm going to toast these for 2 minutes. Has anyone done this in a frying pan and burnt them before? Because I have. Cool. So I'm just turning that on for 2 minutes. And we're going to toast it. So it says here, dry roasting them and prolong by 1 minute if you need to.
Awesome, thank you. Yes, I love toasting. So you could be toasting seeds, and you can also be toasting nuts in your Thermomix. So have any of our listeners today done toasting of seeds and nuts? I'm sure if you've been making your own pastes, then yes, you would have been. And you can also use that function to remove, I was reading the other day, remove the skins of peanuts by heating them up and moving it through. Yes, I toast them to use as sprinkles on salads. Oh yeah, I love that. Definitely. And actually, if you buy that sprinkle mix of toasted seeds and nuts, it's like $5 or $6 for a little baggie of toasted seeds and nuts, which you could easily toast in your Thermomix and put some beautiful paprika and, you know, any of the spices that you liked on it as well, and salt and whatever you wanted to add. Yeah, and put it on sprinkles on your salads. Toasted sunflower seeds. Right.
Yeah, this is mesmerizing to watch. Usually I wouldn't be standing here with my head above this because I've got the lid off, and just watching the bottom part of the blade spinning around. Yeah, making them all move around and toast properly is quite cool to watch. All things amuse small minds, right?
I wasn't going to say it. I'm not that kind of girl.
That's okay. We've just got 19 seconds left on that. Smells really good.
Absolutely. And I love the way that it doesn't burn. Like
No.
Philip is saying here that you don't, you have to set the oven timer and keep rushing in and out if you're doing it on the oven. The amount of times I've done it in a saucepan, dry, and then walked away
I've burnt sesame seeds so many times doing that.
because you forget that you have to be constantly on guard. Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to leave it for a few seconds. I'm just going to give it a bit of a wriggle around, try and cool it off for a bit, and then we're going to, we're going to mill them. All right. So, pop this on. You guys want to see? Sorry.
Yeah. And do you want to mill them now, or do you want to let them cool down?
Yeah. So I'm letting them. I just give them a bit of a zhuzh around.
Bex, you can start the pumpkin if that will help.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
All right. Here we go then.
And Noah, Bex has her wonderful little Noah in the kitchen helper.
Okay, cool. So dessert is our favorite dish in our house. So we're starting off with dessert today. I'm going to be making the Thai steamed pumpkin pudding, and this is from Recipe Community. Now I did a quick Google about this, and it's a very traditional Thai dessert during Thanksgiving time. So that's coming up anyway. So I thought it was quite appropriate. So yes, Recipe Community, this means that we're going to be manual cooking. I'm going to be putting the instructions in myself. No, I'm talking to the people. I'll put the instructions in myself. All right, so what we've got here is I have already steamed this pumpkin. I steamed it for 20 minutes just so that we don't have to wait for that. And it says to add the cooled pumpkin to the bowl. So we'll add that in. What's that? It's pumpkin. Yes, it is. We're going to process this 10 seconds on speed 7. So I don't know what it looks like.
If you want to follow along with what Bex is doing, I've put the recipe to the chat box so you can have a look. Like she says, it's a recipe one, so she will be using it as guided cooking. But I'm sure you all are aware that with the update to Cookie Do 3, created recipe collection means you will be able to use Recipe Community with your family. So that's exciting.
So this here is our pureed pumpkin, and that is perfect for the consistency that we need for this. And we also did this pureeing yesterday in our baby food class. So even if you just steamed your pumpkin in the basket, chuck it in the bowl, whip it up, add some water if you'd like to make it thinner, add some milk, add some, if it's baby food, add some formula, go for gold, really. So I'm just going to push this all down. Yes, baby. Yeah, you hold the spoon. Thank you. So we've pureed that up. We are going to add in some tapioca flour. Tapioca and arrowroot are quite similar, so you could use either. Add this in. This here is some rice flour. So I just prepared this earlier, just from basmati rice. Just milled it up. 10 seconds on speed, 30 seconds on speed 10. Okay. Thank you, baby. Well done. Mommy. Yes, baby. I'm making. Oh, you're making. It's loud. Wow, it's going to be very loud. All right, 10 seconds on speed 4. Here we go. My daddy, loud. Mommy, what's speaking?
Remember the days of talkative toddlers when you couldn't escape. You can't escape the words.
Yeah, do they stop? Taken off this lockdown with talking.
Yes, and they become teenagers and then you beg them to talk to you. So it's really, it's going, especially boys, it's going from one to the other.
Noah, please.
I can only give boy
Okay, you do.
advice.
No, I do. Sorry, so we're just pushing down the sides and I'm just going to add in the sugar and some coconut, some sugar coconut into it. Wow, that's so cool, eh?
My turn.
All right, hold up. Hold up. You hold on to the spoon. All right, we've got 120 grams of sugar. In the notes on this recipe, it said you can double it. No way. I'm just going to keep it just like that.
I thought that, wow, that would be really ridiculously sweet.
I know. So in actual fact, the recipe said 120, but I always read the comments in recipe community because that means that people have tried them out and added their comments, and I've actually just got 100 grams. So got even less. All right, 50 grams of coconut. So I'm just going to weigh that because I've got a double lot in there. And a little pinch of salt. Okay, let's see.
My soup.
Oh, really?
Mommy
Okay,
soup.
so we're going to be blending for
Mommy,
3 minutes,
myself.
80 degrees, and at speed 4. So I'll see you in 3
Mommy.
minutes.
My soup.
Okay, so what I will do next, I'll continue on with my my curry paste. So now that it's cooled, I don't know why I took the lid off. I'm going to mill the coriander seeds. So I'm going to turn that up to speed 10 and mill that for a minute. I might not do it for a minute, for as long as a minute, because I find that by like 30 seconds, it's pretty much like bang on. But you can kind of hear it once it stops, all the little bits start hitting the sides that it's kind of good to go. What? See, oh wow, it's very aromatic. Okay. That's already quite milled in there. So next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put 8 fresh long red chilies and de-seeded. So I've already cut those all up. 4 centimeters of fresh garlic. It does say fresh ginger, sorry. It does say peeled, but I got this tip from Rebecca actually. You don't have to peel them. It's just extra fiber. And because it's being completely blitzed up in your Thermomix, you're not going to taste the outside of it. So as long as it's nice and clean, like that. Put them in there. 2 tablespoons of ground paprika. So I've got that, and that's just your normal paprika, not smoked paprika. 8 garlic cloves. You'd be surprised to know, Michelle, that I actually have used 8 this time. Usually I end up doing double the amount of garlic. 4 limes. Now, I couldn't find limes at my local supermarket, so I'm just using lime juice, and it asks for the juice and the zest of the limes, but I thought the lime juice should be fine. Great, and then 4 stalks of lemongrass. Now, if you're close to one of the Asian supermarkets, I prefer getting my lemongrass from there, and even the stuff that's just frozen, and keeping that in my freezer, and then you can defrost it, because I think it's like $6 for 2 stalks from your normal supermarket, and then for like $3 you get like 10 or 12 stalks from my Safeway. So putting the lemongrass in. Is everyone there? Everything's gone quiet. You can still hear me?
We can hear you, and we're listening ardently.
Intently, yeah.
I'm making notes so that I can remember to include your tips in our thing. So sorry, I'm trying desperately to multitask.
No, that's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this paste to speed 9.
And it's telling us in the chat there that lemongrass is really easy to grow. I did not know that. I would not have thought that. So I'd love to know a little bit more, Janet. And does it like, is it a big, massive, like, I actually wouldn't, makes me think of bamboo.
Oh, wow.
So,
I was just thinking bamboo.
yeah,
Wow,
so
there's
I'd
a
love
lot
to
of
know
that.
how you grow and where you put it.
I have the brownest thumb, so I kind of leave the growing to other people, to be fair. I keep
I have
saying
a
this.
husband who has green thumbs, so I just take
Oh, no,
the
mine's-
information and direct it to him, and he makes it all happen. So
I've only been able to keep my kids alive, no plants.
So Sandy says it gets to be a really big bush, and you need a big spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Could you use
So
lemon
here's-
juice instead of lime juice is the question, and I think you probably could, but lime does have a very distinctive Thai
Yeah.
flavor that you would lose, I think.
You'd miss out on. Yeah, I did
yeah.
think that initially. I was like, oh, maybe I could get the zest of some lemons, but yeah. Just going to do this again. So it says to scrape down everything in the mixing bowl and repeat process until needed. I'm going to actually listen to what they said, and I'm going to do it another 10 seconds. You can hear it so fast that it's like it's just pushes it all up at the side. But she's looking pretty good. Has
Those
anyone
are
else
good.
made any of the paste, the Thai paste before? To be fair, I've always bought my Thai paste in the past, pre-Thermomix. Since I haven't made many Thai things since having mine, but I do all the Indian paste, so I'm excited to save more money by making Thai ones as well. Right. Next. Oh, right. So now, again, I'll just show you, that's the beginning of my paste, and I've got some
Good.
peanut oil here. Oh, it's asking me to keep it in actually. So we're going to go to speed 4. I've got 100 grams of my peanut oil that I'm going to, put this slowly into the mixing bowl. I'm interested to see, because obviously this shouldn't emulsify, but why you didn't just pour it all in. Has anyone else made? We do need, the smell is like very aromatic. It's really nice. I like the smell of lemongrass.
Yes, lemongrass is gorgeous. It's so fresh. We're still on the subject of lemongrass. So it says it becomes like a big ornamental grass, a bushy grass. Philippa grew hers in a pot, which is probably a good idea because then it'll be more contained. Janet let hers grow free, and it's about 750 centimeters tall and 500 centimeters across.
Wow.
So it's massive. Yeah. Oh, we need to come to your house and collect our pieces. I wonder if you can, do that transplanting.
Wow. This is looking
Tanaya
really
says
good,
they've
guys.
made Thai paste lots of times, and lemongrass can also be used in Indian cooking and curries, and it's especially gorgeous in chai. So that's nice.
Oh,
to
yes,
know.
of course.
That would be good.
Okay, so my paste is pretty, I think it's done. That's it. And look at this, guys. Easy peasy.
So
So
good.
now I'm going to get my jar here that I sterilized a bit earlier, sorry. And put my lid. So if you didn't know that the hole for your the Thermomix often will sit nicely on the inside of jars, and then you can pour things, especially for cat-candid people like me who are very messy in the kitchen, and it will keep, see, there you go, I dropped some already that would have gone on the bench had I not used this. Put this in here.
Whilst
And then
you're
what
doing
you
that,
can,
I'm going to go across to Bex and get her. She should be ready for us now with her pudding. So we pop that into
Okay.
the container, Bex.
Yep, so I have put this into the 20 centimeter cake foam pan. And now what I'm going to do is I've just got my Varoma dish, and you can, it fits quite nicely just sitting on there. And just for the hang of it and to show you how this works, this is a trivet, and I think they're about $10 on the mix shop. And you use this to put it into your varoma. And then when you put something on top, like a big piece of meat or chicken or anything really, like this, it just opens up the base for a little bit more air circulation. So I'm just going to use that just to show you guys that I would use it anyway. And now
Glad
I've
you
got
did
my
that
other.
because I was looking for mine to show, because I always put mine when I steam my vegetables, and somebody's helped me put it away and it's lost. And it's such a good little doodad to have to stop you from blocking those holes. And they're only about $20 in the mix shop. But what you could do also, and that's what I'll be showing you, is you can use your whisk. So you put your whisk down. Probably wouldn't for a steamed pudding like this, but for something else to keep the holes open, it's quite helpful.
Yeah. And also upside down forks while we're on that conversation. So you put your forks down like this, like an X shape, and then it's for the corned beef recipe. Then you can put your corned beef on top. So
Great tips.
another idea. All right, so I've got my other Thermomix in the corner. I've got it on 30 minutes varoma temperature, and I think I just do that to about speed 1. Speed 1, and that's going to steam away for 30 minutes. So I'll just start that now so that we can get that going. Where is my lid? It is there. And then
Fantastic. So we'll let you go along with your steaming. And Alicia, are we back to you?
Yep. Right, so here's my wonderful paste. How good is that? I wanted to taste it, but then I'm like, oh, I probably get my socks knocked off with all the chilies that are in it on its own.
You weren't
Right,
shy
so
with the chilies, were you? You love your chilies.
No. My husband loves spicy food. I can do spicy food. I think they're just normal chilies, so I'm really hoping they're not going to be like excessively hot. I'm probably in between medium and hot for my food that I can do if you're looking on the spicy levels. We don't put my bowl. Right, I'm not going to rinse this out. I think that this will add to it quite nicely. So I'm going to leave the remnants of my bowl remnants of the Thai curry paste in my bowl. So this is the Chiang Mai noodle recipe on Cookie Doo. I am adapting it, as I said earlier, to make it keto so that we can have it for dinner tonight. So the difference is at the beginning, it's asking you to put 200 to 250 of dry egg noodles in and cook those beforehand. I'm actually using, they're called konjac noodles, and they're made out of a konjac root, and they are they're next to nothing in calories, but also very low in carbs. So I actually got 2 packets. One is the Slendia, and then the other one is the Zero Slim and Healthy Noodles. And you can get these, this one from Countdown, and this one was from Fresh Choice. And yeah, as long as you definitely thoroughly rinse them, because they do have a bit of a fishy taste. But hey, we're going to be putting fish sauce in our recipe today, so you're not going to notice them. I used them already in a laksa recipe, and they were great. Okay, so
I used some with me made Chiang Mai the other night, and they're great because they do fill you up, and they're perfect.
Oh,
yeah.
yes,
I use the big fat fettuccine. I think that the ones you've got would be much better.
Yeah. So I have used the fettuccine, but sometimes I think the thicker they get, they've got a bit of a almost like prawn crunch. You know, when you bite down on a prawn, they've got that like kind of crunchy feeling to it. I don't know how you explain that, but yeah, or like the firm banana when you bite into one of those. Right, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is putting shallots. So I've got 6 shallots, which that's very oniony, but hey, do what they say. And I've cut those in half. I've also got 3 garlic cloves. I lie, I've got 4, but N plus 1. And then another 1 to 2 chilies. So I've got 2 chilies in here. And then I'm going to put my lid back on along with my measuring cup. And we're going to blitz that for 3 seconds. Has anyone else done this recipe before? That happened quick. So there's all of that very quickly. say scrape down. Always check, because you go to scrape down the bowl, and 9 times out of 10 it will ask you to scrape down the bowl, so you just do it instinctively. But I have come across a couple of recipes recently that say do not scrape down the bowl, and then I've already gone and done it. Wow, that onion. Oh, okay, 40 grams of oil. On, go next, and we're going to cook that for 3 minutes while I go wipe my eyes, because I just got a big blast
Oh,
of
no.
onion. That's all right.
Thank you.
All right.
So my turn to cook. So I am multitasking today, as we've had someone who's had her second vaccine shot and actually is feeling terrible. So she's having the day off. So just sorry, let me just rejig this so that it looks okay. I hope you can see everything clearly. And so, because I wasn't quite prepared, we decided we were doing a Thai beef salad, which obviously we're not going to do because the Thai beef needed marinating, and I didn't have any beef, but I did have some chicken. And something my boys love is it's called the Easy Satay Chicken. So it's a family-friendly dish called the Easy Satay Chicken. The funny thing is I made chiang mai noodles for lunch and used my coconut milk. And now I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't want to go to countdown. So we're going to start off by making some coconut milk. So has anyone made their own coconut milk in the Thermomix before? And when I looked at the recipe, it's just too easy that actually it's quicker for me to make this coconut milk now than it is to go to countdown, probably put on my mask, stand in a queue, blah, 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 you know what it is. And so we're going to start by making our own. So I had desiccated coconut, which none of my kids really like to eat, so this is perfect. Pop 300 grams into my machine. And I'm going to quickly give that a good whisk for 20 seconds on speed 9. We're talking about milling and that. Well, there I've just milled my coconut. So super fine. And it's now asking me to add 1,000 grams of water. This is making about 900 grams of coconut milk. I want it a bit thicker. So I'm going to fiddle with my quantities because that's what we like to do around here. So I'm thinking I'll just add half the amount of water so I can get a nice thick coconut milk. Hopefully it will work. And
Yeah,
so
it'll work.
a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it'll definitely work. You just add less water and then it actually just makes coconut cream.
100 grams.
Yeah, because
Have you made it? Have you made it before, Rebecca?
coconut milk or
Yeah.
yes, no, many times. I went through a phase where I liked having coconut milk and almond milk mixed together. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. I really liked it. And what I also did is when I make like coconut milk, the first strain is quite thick. And so then I would strain it and then I would pulverize the mixture again with more water, and then I'd add it, and then I'd do about 3 or 4 rounds of straining, mixing and straining, and it makes it go really far.
Wow. How long have you got? Can I continue on with my chiang mai noodles?
I would say so.
Okay. Okay, cool. So my onion, chili, and what else did I have put in there? I can't remember. Oh my gosh, brain fart. It's all cooked. And now it's asking for 4 to 5 tablespoons of the red Thai red Thai paste. Now, I left my my tablespoon is currently in the dishwasher running. So I'm going to use the lid here because this little groove at the bottom I got taught is actually 1 tablespoon worth, and it's asking for 4 to 5. So I'm going to add a teaspoon. Oh, some of that in, so that's 1. Sorry guys, my stepson's getting picked up. If you can hear noises in the background. 3. It says 4 to 5. I like it extra Thai, so hey, let's go 5. Yeah. See you guys later. Not you guys, you stay there. See you, Sean. Okay. Oh, and now it's asking for 500 grams of chicken thigh. So pop that all in here. So, and then it's going to cook that initially for 3 minutes again. So back over to you, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. And then Michelle, you can go straight into making your satay sauce after you've strained that coconut.
Awesome. Thank
to
you.
know.
Am I highlighted or do I need to spotlight myself?
Can you just spotlight yourself, please? Yeah, there we go. You're already there.
This is after 30 seconds of blending. So a nice mushy consistency. And so we're going to put that through muslin nut milk bag. And then just super fast, isn't it? And it smells, I mean, obviously it's coconut, but it's gone like creamy. The pulp's gone creamy.
Okay.
The pulp's gone like creamy, it's yummy.
So
Alright.
what you would do now is you're going to strain that hay into cream and then keep that mixture and do another pulverizing with some more water, and then you're not going to waste it. You're just going to have more coconut milk. So
I'm just doing it this once, I think. I'm not going to add any more liquid to it.
you milked that coconut. Do you feel like
I
doing
know,
such a good
when
job.
you're left over with all this beautiful coconut, that would be great for like adding into smoothies or adding into baking, any baking, I reckon. Cookies. You know, you could put it, you could dehydrate it a little bit if you wanted to in your oven and then pop it into a freezer.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you could
Mill it
just-
and make coconut flour as well.
yeah, Emma has just said bliss balls. That's a really great idea. You can bake it for a couple of hours on a really low temperature in the oven and then mill it into flour. And I did that, and my jar of coconut flour, it lasted for a few months, and I just needed it in some of the recipes I was making. And coconut
cool
flour
is
is
that?
so expensive.
That's what I'm left with. So I love the fact that you've got 2 double usage here. There's no waste. Like this would be amazing in cookies or bliss balls, like you're saying, or adding to pancakes even. And then here is my coconut milk. Now I'm not going to pour it in there. But anyway, when I add it to the recipe, I'll show you. I can't show you right now. So let me get myself organized and we'll start. So it says, yeah, keep the pulp. So we're going to go straight into our recipe.
Your satay sauce. Okay.
While you're
so
getting that quickly ready, I'll just continue on because mine's just finished, so I can add a couple, and then I think I add a couple of more things and then put it back on for a few more minutes to cook. That's okay.
sure thing.
See that my chicken's already starting to cook. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Right, so we're adding to that 2 tablespoons.
Hold on, Alicia, let me just, because you're not
Oh,
spotlighted,
sorry.
so it's really hard for people to see you. Like
Sorry,
they can't
guys.
see you. Here we go.
Okay. So I've got my chicken is already starting to cook in all of those aromats. So we've got 2 tablespoons of fish sauce that I'm adding to that. 1 tablespoon of palm sugar. So I'm not putting palm sugar in. I've actually changed that to 2 tablespoons of allulose. Allulose is a sweetener, and it is about 70% as sweet as sugar. So I'm using that to still give it that sweetness, but no carbs. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of ground turmeric. Oh, I grabbed a 1/4 teaspoon now. Half of that. 400 grams of coconut milk. Sorry, I got mine in the can. I am tempted to try and make it though now. 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Again, I'm going to use my handy dandy measuring cup to measure out.
Dandy
1, yeah, right. 2 of lime juice. And 2 teaspoons of chicken stock. I don't have chicken stock. I have the trusty veggie stock paste, which we use in place of all the meat stocks, and it works just as well to give it that nice extra hit of flavour. Great, and also it's asking for 400 grams of water. So 2, 3, I cannot pour 400 exactly, so I don't want to go over. Great. Right, and now it's going to cook this for 5 minutes. And this is where you wouldn't put your egg noodles in if you were making the original Chiang Mai version of this. But these konjac noodles hold together quite well. But also, I don't want the fishy flavour too much that these give. So I'm going to pop them in here and help them infuse in the flavours that are going to be in the Chiang Mai noodles. And that will kind of get rid of that flavour. The same if you're going to use, if you use these to make, I know it's not a Thai thing, but if you like to make bolognese and you want noodles in your bolognese sauce, I put the noodles in and let them stew in the tomato saucy flavour.
What's that? I've never thought about doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I went too far. So that's me for 5 minutes. I'm going to put that onto speed 1 on reverse. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, so I'll continue with the sesame. We're going to be making the satay sauce now. So this is cookie recipe, lovely guided cooking, telling me step by step what to do. So we're going to be milling our seeds. When you're milling seeds, you really want to make sure your bowl is dead dry. There's nothing worse than having some of your seeds not milled. You really want it to be dry. Sometimes, so yeah, just always give it that extra wipe, especially if mine's just come out of the dishwasher. All right, so I'm putting in a number of seeds here. I've got dried fennel seeds, cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and some turmeric. And I'm going to toast those for 30 seconds. Then I can find my lid. Now milling those for 30 seconds.
So I put in the chat box what Michelle is making. I put in the easy satay chicken. I've actually made this before, quite a while ago.
Me too, we make it.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Is this one in the Meals in a Flash cookbook?
Quite possibly, yes. I believe it is.
Yeah, it's a nice, real quick, easy meal if you're late home to make dinner. Really good.
Have a gorgeous. So that's thing. So now I'm going to add some fresh ginger and no garlic, because we don't do garlic for me and this family, and some fresh chilies. Now the thing about Thai cooking and they say you want to be using fresh ingredients as much as possible. So your fresh ginger, your fresh garlic, your fresh chilies, and that's ideal. And that's what brings these beautiful flavors into our Thai cooking. But desperate times call for desperate measures. So I have red chili paste in the fridge as a standby.
And you see, for me, there would be no chili in it whatsoever. So see how you can adapt it.
All the chilies, some of the chilies, none of the chilies.
I'm
also gonna
spicy
add
enough.
to that 2 tablespoons of tamari sauce, which is gluten-free, and it's a little bit different to soy sauce because it's got a slightly sweeter taste, I believe. I've got in here tamarind pulp, which is beautiful and available again from your Asian shops, as well as 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce.
Minta, and Michelle is making the easy satay chicken. You'll see the, if you hadn't been in the chat, hold on, let me send it again.
In the chat yet, because I'm too busy multitasking.
No, you're good.
Tablespoon of dark brown sugar. And if you wanted to authentically Thai, you could use palm sugar here, but we're going for dark brown sugar and 270 grams of coconut cream. So this is where I'm going to use my coconut. I'll pour it in, you'll get to see the consistency. It is a bit watery. It's good. In fact, I like sauce, so I'm just going to go for it. Right. And 60 grams of peanut butter. So just popping this all in here. And just a reminder, guys, I'm not sure if you were aware when you signed up that our class is running from 4 to 5:30. I'm not, it was on the time of when you register, that was the time allocated. So it's a little bit longer, and that's why, because these recipes take a little bit longer. All right, putting in our measuring cup, and now I'm going to cook up the satay sauce for 3 minutes on speed 1, so a slow stir at 90 degrees. All right, Bex, over to you, I think, to make
The mayonnaise.
the mayo.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey everyone, my next dish here is I'm making the prawn toast with sriracha and sesame mayonnaise. We don't have sriracha or spice in this house, so it's just sesame mayonnaise. I made this during the week and it's just absolutely delicious. So let's get started with the mayonnaise first. Okie dokie. So I have already weighed out, this is when you do any mayonnaise at all, you always weigh out your oil into a jar first, a pouring jar. And that's because you're going to be pouring it in while the machine is moving. So I forgot to get the butterfly whisk. Give me a moment. Okay, so I just put my butterfly whisk in. I've got 1 egg yolk. Oh no, been sitting for too long. Now, if you wanted to jump between recipes really nice and quickly, like I kind of just did, you know, if I didn't have a break, if you made dessert and then you were on to making dinner, then you need a second bowl, right? So there's a special that's starting on Wednesday, and we are only allowed to tell people directly, so we're telling you right now that if you purchase our Thermomix, you get to purchase a second bowl set for just $29. It's never been that cheap. They usually do the $99, but hey, how can we make that better? Get a second bowl set for $29. So that's starting on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Get in touch with your consultant. If you don't have one, then get in touch with Michelle. She's our team leader. We've got 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Chuck that in. 30 grams of sriracha sauce. Skip. 20 grams of white vinegar. And a pinch of salt. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put the lid on. And if you've ever made mayonnaise before, you know what's coming up next. So we've got 5 minutes, no temperature, and we're going to speed 4. And then while it's mixing, I'm going to be pouring the oil nice and slowly into the lid, and it's going to drip down through the gap here and emulsify the mayonnaise. So we'll do it nice and slowly. I'm going to do it over 5 minutes, okay?
We'll watch you for some of the time and then we might pass to Alicia. Who's made mayonnaise in their Thermomix before? Put it in the chat.
I make aioli every week.
Mayonnaise is aioli, yeah, same thing. And what Bex is doing now is emulsifying. Janet makes it all the time. Yeah, absolutely. Do you make the cooked mayonnaise? I've been making the cooked mayonnaise because I like the fact that the eggs are cooked. And I love that. Yeah, lots of people with the aioli, sometimes making a lemon aioli. Awesome, I love that. A salad dressing using your mayonnaise. Yep. I've made also a sweet mayonnaise which used condensed milk in it.
Oh, no.
I know. You know me, I can eat a tin of condensed milk. I did when I was pregnant regularly. It was cooked. I did the cooked mayonnaise. I added some condensed milk as well as some mustard, and it was divine. It came out like wasabi. It was really, really good. But South Africans have those funny sweet and sour tastes.
No, it's not just you. My nanny used to make that salad dressing using the condensed milk and make us eat it, and it just brings back real badness, nostalgic and nostalgia. Ugh. That and spotted dick pudding made in blood.
These are the things we are not allowed to do to our kids, hey? No. We've got to remember, we don't want them saying, oh, Nana's condensed milk. Oh, dear. So Janet uses Annabelle Langbine's speedy mayo. Oh, and she makes it after she's made a curry paste. That's a good idea. Yum. So like a curry mayonnaise. Kristen's mum used to make the condensed milk. Oh, I love that dressing. It's bringing back memories to a lot of people.
Not good ones.
Some of the people love this, are loving this memory. It's just you, Alicia. Now, do I need to spotlight you? What are you up to next?
Sure. I mean, I'm shivering inside because you really just brought back my Christmas dinners. And it's not fun, but that's okay. Okay, so it has finished. It's very full. So I'm actually thinking I might tip some of this into my thermo server just to minimize that, because I'm also going to be putting some bok choy in there, and I just don't think it's all going to fit. So there is obviously a max line, and you guys don't want to go above that. Otherwise, yeah, things start coming out the top, and that's the last thing that we want at dinner time is explosion. You want to taste explosion in your mouth, not an explosion on your thermometer. So, right. So I'm going to pour some of that and grab some of the noodles. Okay.
Did you double that recipe? Because it looks a lot fuller.
I didn't. It's because I put my noodles, my konjac noodles. So do you guys know, my friend Holly tells me you have to turn on your tongs. Does everyone do that? You have to turn your tongs on? Oh, mum joke. Right.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I normally don't put my noodles into the...
Oh, so I was saying earlier, the reason why I put my konjac noodles in is to help them absorb the taste of the flavour that you're, like the stuff that you're making, because they have a very fishy taste on their own. Sometimes it's not that nice.
Do you not?
Maybe it's the brand. Yeah,
no, I use the ones you've got. Both the ones you've got, I use.
Oh, I don't know then. I don't think
I like that idea of actually cooking it in the noodles for a little bit, definitely.
Yeah. So I just pulled some of that out now, and it does say next to add in some. I've gone out of the recipe for a moment. It says to add in pak choy. I don't like pak choy. It's a bit too silver beety for me. So I am using bok choy instead, which I find is a bit more mellow. So I'm just going forward. Okay, so a few stalks of bok choy in here. Those ones.
Stalk part.
Yeah.
I've never heard that
You're like-
expression, turn on your tongs. Is that a Kiwi thing?
I don't know. It's so funny. Like, do you know when everyone takes their tongues out, and the first thing you do before you grab things is you go, I don't know.
No, that's just you.
Oh, maybe. No,
Official
it's not just me.
Alicia.
I got told this by someone else, and I thought it was hilarious. So,
But
Yeah,
there've been a few in the
that's
chat
my
saying
story.
yes, they do that. And I saw Debbie put up her hand
See?
saying, yes, I do it.
That's right. Thank you.
Maybe
Not
I have to
just me.
start.
You do. You probably do it without even noticing. So let's start on for another
Probably.
4 more minutes.
You're
Right,
right.
let's go back to Bex and see what she's up to.
Here's my mayonnaise. So
Oh,
that is
look
looking,
at that.
yeah,
Yummy.
that's looking perfect. So I was just quickly going to put it in the bowl, but I'll just grab another one. So yeah, I also forgot to tell you that in with the cooking, the oil was some sesame oil. So that's what gives it the taste of the sesame. And sesame oil is one of those ingredients that I always need in the kitchen. And this is probably like my favorite food. But odd. Also, by the way, I went to all 3 shops in Botany. I went to Countdown, Pick and Save, and New World, and none of them had canola oil, sunflower oil, none of those. Like there was soybean oil forever, but there was no canola or sunflower. So
It's the same out this way as well. I don't know what everyone is deep frying, but
no, or there's like no sunflowers giving off oil. I don't know. So this is salad and cooking oil, and they still didn't have that either. But I had this in my pantry anyway. So just a warning if anybody needs to get some oil. Okay, so now it's in the bowl. I put it in the fridge. Now what we're going to do is it's just going to weigh out my panko breadcrumbs and my sesame seeds. I only have white sesame seeds, so that's just we're going with the recipe said white and black, but feel free to do whatever you have. So some panko breadcrumbs and some sesame seeds, so they're all ready to go.
I feel like the black is just for aesthetics, really.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is. And actually, believe it or not, this is leftover from when I made it this week. So it made plenty. And that was full recipe. So when I made it last week, there was a couple of things that I learnt. One of the things was it made far too much, and there is about 3.5 of us for lunch that day, and it was just too many pieces of bread toast. So I'm having the recipe here. So we've got a garlic clove, just one for that is fine. I've got some ginger. Chuck that in. Oh, the rain is setting in Auckland. We've got some spring onion. Do you know that the other name for spring onion is shallots? Did not know that. Or green onion, that's another one.
No, it's green onion, not shallot.
Yeah, shallots are these
Shallots are
ones.
the little mini onions, hey?
Yeah, they're these ones.
And they're quite
Well, I do red onion and spring onion. instead
scallion.
of-
I think you're thinking of a scallion.
Oh, that's right.
That's a
Sorry,
green
that one.
onion. Yeah.
Yeah, see, there's 3 different names. And we've got some fresh coriander here. So I'll check that in. And I'm going to quickly chop this up. I love chopping up these kind of ingredients because the smell is amazing. 3 seconds.
While she's doing that, I'll just show you that I have blended up the sesame sauce. So that's all blended up, ready to go. I've weighed out 400 grams of rice into my steaming basket, which I'm popping inside my thermo, which has 1,200 grams of water in it. And I'm going to top that now with the lid. And I have my Varoma, which has my chicken pieces, popping that there. And we're going to cook that for 10 minutes, speed 2.
Cool. So what I'm doing now is it says 250 grams of raw king prawns, peeled and veined. These are the budget brand from Pack and Save. There are mixed grade raw prawns. And now I have a question for all of you. The cheapest I could find was at Pack and Save was $19 for a kilo. I was just wondering if anybody buys their raw or cooked prawns from anywhere else and if they come any cheaper than that, because there are so many recipes I want to try on Cookie-Doo, and $19 a kilo is just not really something we can do at the moment. So yeah, if anybody's got any secrets for that, I'm not a fan of shrimp, so I'm not going to do that.
What's the difference between shrimp and prawn?
Shrimps are really small and they're quite tasteless, and I can't find my egg white. Oh, I think my egg white is in one of these. Yeah, I think it's in here. So in here is an egg white, half a teaspoon of white sugar, half a teaspoon, halving these, half a teaspoon of sesame oil, and some soy sauce. So I already pre-mixed that all up. Got a lot of little bowls going on here, so hopefully that was the right one. All right, 5 seconds of mixing for that.
While Rebecca's doing that, I just wanted to go back to the whole sesame oil thing. Just be careful when you're buying sesame oil. Look on the back, because not all sesame oils are made the same. So some are quite heavily made with like canola oil, and then there's only a little bit of sesame oil. And when you're making it, you only need to have a little bit. So pure sesame oil is the better one to use, as it gives off a more aromatic flavour than some of them. So if it's quite cheap, often it will be filled with canola or soya oil, as well as a bit of the sesame oil. They're quite sneaky.
Sneaky. Okay, so what I've got here is this is the prawn mixture. Sorry about the lighting. The prawn mixture is now all mixed up, and I'm just going to turn my air fryer on. So you can, the recipe says to deep fry these, but in the notes and the tips and tricks, it says that you can also air fry them. So I think that is a safer option, especially at the moment that I'm eating all my feelings and emotions away. So let's stick with deep fry.
And there's no oil to refill your deep fryer.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to, I'm just going to do, I'll just do one for you because it's a little bit.
I see in the chat, Kate has shared with us that she buys frozen prawns from Trent's, which is similar to Gilmore's, and that you're looking at around $25 when they're on special. So that's a good price, isn't it?
$25
For a kilo.
Well, these ones were $19 a kilo.
So that's actually a better price.
But I mean, if that's good quality, then yeah, that would be a great idea as well.
Have you been to Gilmore's? I mean, are we allowed to go to Gilmore's on level 3?
Yeah, I've been to Gilmore's. It's more of those like need to know people, like you need to know people to go. So you know me.
Do you have a Gilmore's card?
Yeah, we do.
You can go, you can just go as a visitor.
I was going to say I've got one.
Oh,
And
okay, cool.
you need an account. And Kate says they are the nice big prawns. They're not those teeny tiny ones.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so they go further anyway. All right, so I have put about 2 tablespoons of my prawn mixture onto my bread. And you want the thick type of bread. Now I've got my panko breadcrumbs here. And I'm going to flip it upside down onto my panko breadcrumbs. And then I'm going
Has anyone made this recipe, the sesame prawn?
All right.
I want to though.
So yeah, it's one of those daunting things that you're like, been nervous about this, but then once you get it, like last time I was spread out everywhere. This time I'm cool, calm, and collected. Okay, so in the recipe, obviously because it's deep frying it as well, it says to now cut it into 4 triangles, okay? And then it says to coat it in a whisked egg. And we did this last time and air fried egg is not always the best. And just personal preference, it was way nicer like this. So I'm not going to dip it in egg this time. I've got my tray. Make sure that you give the tray a good spray of oil. I'm going to put my little
Who else
Corn
uses
toast.
their air fryer alongside their Thermomix? They are apparently a match
Mutually
made in heaven.
exclusive.
And Kate,
Well-
I have. It's just above. You'll see it just above Janet's comment there in the chat box. The prawn toast recipe. It's already there.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to pop that in the air fryer 10 to 12 minutes. As you can see, my stovetop is permanently turned off. There's my air fryer oven. And then here's my oven that is used as storage. And then here's my two Thermomixes. So that is all that I use. We don't use a stove. If I cook steak, I cook it in the air fryer. It's a lot safer with a really hands-on toddler as well. That's just how I roll. So
Thanks for that. Leisha, are we needing to come back
Good to go. Yeah, well, I'm finished. So here's my finished Chiang Mai noodles. I'm going to pour them into my thermoserver. Oh, slowly. It makes a lot, which is quite interesting because it literally is just me, my husband, and my 5-year-old having dinner. And this is going to need to be frozen because I'm not going to be able to get through all of this in one night. So this is I think.
Is Matt away again already?
No. I said he's here, but it's him, me, and Eli will not go through all of this. My gosh, there's so much of it. It's good though.
It's a great dish. It's quite easy. And I think it's quite, if you serve that in a beautiful bowl with some coriander or parsley sprinkled over and a little swirl of coconut, it could actually be a very nice dish that you serve for your guests.
Hang on
And
just a
super
second.
easy.
What do they do? The salt. No, this is my coriander on top. I don't have beautiful serving bowls. If Kmart was open, I'd go buy some, but you know.
I went online and bought some yesterday from Kmart. They've got some nice.
Are you telling me I'm allowed to online shop, Michelle?
I'm encouraging you in your with your problem.
Yes, I have an issue. Lock me in a house and this is what happens. So I'm going to give this a go. Oh, it's hot, but not hot. Temperature hot, not spicy hot.
What about
It's
stirring
actually
some?
quite-
What about stirring some lime through at the end? Because I think that's what every Thai dish needs.
What's it say? Divide the reserved noodles between serving bowls, top with chicken sauce and garnish with some onions or shallots trimmed and cut into thin slices, 4 sprigs of coriander, and some, I forgot those. Hang on.
Your bean shoots.
Got some bean shoots. I bought some of those too.
Those are so good. I love the crunch they add.
Yeah. I've just been careful of them because I know that there was a bit of a
they're cheap
listeria
as
issue
chips
with them.
too, eh?
Yeah. So yeah, there's my curry paste turned into Chiang Mai noodles. It actually reminds me of like a red Thai curry soup more so. It's not a gravy like a normal curry is. It is more soupier. I think if you wanted to do it into a soup more so, you just omit the 400 mils of water and just keep it a bit thicker. But yeah, the flavor, it packs a flavor punch, but not spicy.
Oh, really? Awesome. Good. Super good. Right, Bex, what you've got there, is that the steam pudding coming out?
Yep. So here is the steamed pudding. Let me go back to the instructions and see what it says. After 30 minutes. Okay, so it's pretty hot right now. Let's just let it cool down. I won't be able to take it out, but let me give it a wiggle for you. It's nice and set, and it says that consistency should be a pudding-like or a baked custard, and it smells amazing. I forgot to show you also that I had put the last 50 grams of coconut on top, so that's what I did. And so there's no It's baked. It's baked custard. It smells amazing.
Is that a wiggle or a jiggle?
There's no wiggle or jiggle.
No, I'm saying
not that I
oh,
can
you're saying
see.
it's not
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty
firm.
it's pretty like hard to press. And so I'll take a good photo and we'll be able to send that out in the email as well, because that needs to cool down before I release it out of the tin.
I want to come to your house. Prawn toast.
Now,
Pumpkin custard.
this is how everybody you use your 4 bowls. So just give me a moment. This one was used for steaming, so there was just water in it. I just need to dry it off a little bit. Okay, here we go. All right, so this bowl should be good to go. And the last thing, can I make the last thing now?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to make the last thing now. I am making a Thai-inspired peanut superfood slaw. And this is not even a Recipe Community recipe. This is just from a website. And I have weighed out my ingredients, but in terms of steps, I'm just going to wing it. So let's see how we go. So for starters, what we're going to do is we're going to add all of the dressing ingredients in. So I've got them all here and I'll be able to just tell you what we're putting in. So what we're putting in is we've got some olive oil, some tamari sauce. You can use soy sauce if you want to. We've got some apple cider vinegar and some honey. And it says you can sub it for sugar if you want to. We've got some sesame oil, some peanut butter, garlic, ginger, and optional hot sauce for some heat. But funny, no, not going to happen here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put all of those ingredients in. This is our dressing. I really love making my own dressing in the Thermomix, just like the mayo. Okay, honey and peanut butter and ginger and garlic. There we go. Ooh. All right, and here is my little lid. I'll use it instead. There we go. All right, so what should we do? Should we do 9? Speed 9? Let's go. Have a look at how that's gone. Oh, perfect. So that was about 20 seconds on speed 9. And that's really nice and liquidy. Ooh, I'm gonna pour it out. Nice and liquidy, and it smells amazing. So what do you say, girls? Should I leave the dressing in there or take it out when I do this? I mean, it's just like a coleslaw. So what do you think?
I think it's too much. So I think you need
Okay.
to take it out and then pour it back on. Otherwise it'll be too mushy.
Just
I'll put this,
leave the
recipe-
remnants. Sorry.
I'll put
Smells
the
so good.
coleslaw recipe, even though it's a Recipe Community one, I popped it into the, no, it's not a Recipe Community one. It's just a general recipe that we found on the internet, and Alicia is going to convert it to a Recipe Community.
Rebecca is going to, yes.
Yes. Did I not say that?
It's okay. So what I did here, I did this morning when I was weighing out my ingredients. So if you're trying to convert a recipe from a conventional recipe, what I did is, it says 4 cups of cabbage. So I just put them into chunks just like this, and estimated about 4 cups and weighed it, and it came to 350 grams, right? So that's how we would do things in the Thermomix world. So now I will be putting that in as 350 grams. 2 carrots, that is pretty self-explanatory. There we go. Okay, 1 bell pepper, 1 capsicum. I don't have it, so I did an extra half half a carrot. Got some spring onions or scallions, as they've called them here. And it's said to do 6. And I just can't imagine putting 6 spring onions into a slaw, so I've done 2. Half a cup of peas. They are just defrosted. I'm actually going to put them in at the end because they will just crush up. And then we've got 5 to 7 sprigs of coriander. And I put a little bit extra because we're a coriander house. So there we go. Okay, I'm gonna
You know that some people are genetically predisposed to think that coriander tastes like soap. It's a genetic thing. So you either
Yeah,
love
there's that.
coriander or you hate it.
I'm so relieved that I love it. Okay. Now from memory, well, when you're converting a recipe, you'd also look back on similar recipes. So I'm thinking about the coleslaw here, and I'm thinking that you mix it for about 3 seconds on speed 4.5. And do we put it on reverse? Do you guys
Have a quick
remember?
look. One
Just
moment,
by
Paula,
memory?
I'm going to have a look.
Okay, let's have a look. Speed 4 for a couple of seconds.
I don't think
You
they
just
did
have to
put it in
listen to it.
reverse. I think they put it going a normal speed.
Yeah, no, it just says 2 to 3 seconds on speed 4. Repeat if necessary until desired consistency.
I
has
often
been
find with
achieved.
coleslaw, I need to put my carrots at the bottom and my cabbage on the top so that my carrots get chopped up more
It
finely.
does say to use. It does say to use with the aid of the spatula.
Oh, aid of spatula. That's probably why.
Mm.
Well, this is looking good so far, but I'll just give it a mix to let all of the big things down to the bottom. And it's already got the rest of that dressing in there, and it smells really, really good. Okay, I'll just go another few seconds. So I'm pretty cool with that consistency. If you want to do it some more, just do a few more seconds. Just don't make coleslaw puree, which is something that my mum does quite often. And her best friend is on here, so the secret's out. All right, I lied. I'm going to do a few more seconds. We'll also be doing turbo. That's okay. I'm just going to put it back into the same container. I love not having too many dishes. I'm mixing in the defrosted peas. It said that this was optional, but apparently it's a Thai thing to have peas in your dishes. And then,
Oh, is it?
Huh?
I said, oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that
Um,
color of that dressing.
Yeah, it's cool. Because it's like peanuts and peanut butter and honey in
Yeah.
it. And it also says in the notes here that you can add shredded chicken and shelled edamame. So
Mm.
you can also do that as well. Shredded chicken sounds really good. Imagine that for dinner. Oh my goodness, steamed chicken. Okay, so there is our Thai-inspired slaw. That looks
Yum.
amazing. All right. Looking good. These look perfect.
Ooh. Note to everyone, if you're cutting the chilies for that chili paste, might pay to wear gloves, because I think maybe an hour or two later, your hands might start to randomly burn and you don't know why. I think that might be why. My fingers are starting to get quite hot. Right, are we going to go to you, lovely Michelle? Oh, you're on mute, my dear. Hang on, I'm just going to...
Looking at Rebecca's toast, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was actually just really easy. You just have to take the jump and do it because it's so yummy. Really different, really yummy.
Oh, Springford says, put a little bit of oil on your hands before you do chili cutting, and that prevents it from...
Burning my
That's-
fingers.
Great idea.
I wish I had known that about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Right,
We'll put that in
yes.
our tips and tricks section, eh? All right, so back to me. So I've been letting my rice cook. I've had the chicken on top, and whilst Bex was, so the chicken's been steaming, and I put some frozen veggies, just some really nice winter frozen veggies in here. So those are cooked as well whilst the rice was cooking. And now what I'm going to do is a little bit different to the recipe, but I think you guys would be okay with that. And so here, oops, my rice is all beautifully done. Actually, I need to pop that in here. Pop it in my thermoserver. That's come up really nicely. Cooking rice in Thermomix. Who cooks the rice in their Thermomix? People.
There are so many ways to cook rice in your Thermomix. Yeah.
And I let it. It's gone a bit yellow because I didn't rinse out the bowl when I did after I made my satay sauce. I didn't rinse it out, so it's given it some color. But what I'm going to do slightly differently is I'm now for another 5 minutes, I'm going to, actually I think I tell you to do that anyway. Put the rice into a serving bowl, add in some sugar, put back your satay sauce, add in some vegetables, some sugar snap peas. So I'm going to pour this which I've blended satay sauce, so it's beautiful and smooth. If you wanted it to be a bit more chunky, you could add some nuts at this stage, but my boys really don't like. I'm going to put my chicken in to be cooking now with the sauce, and I probably, and I'll probably cook it as well. And I'm going to just leave that before I do my veggies, because these were frozen veggies. I don't want them to turn to mush, so I'm just going to let.
I saw someone asked earlier, do you always put your chicken at the top?
I do when I'm making the rice in, you can't really cook the chicken at the bottom, and you don't want it cooking in the water. So whilst you're steaming the rice, you steam the chicken, and then I cook the chicken, and I'll cook the veggies for 5 minutes in the bottom. But if I have often made this recipe where I haven't made the rice in the Thermomix, so I've made my rice on the one Thermomix and the sauce on the other, and then I just make the satay sauce and I put the chicken and the veggies into the sauce and cook it for 10 minutes, and that works brilliantly well as well. And then the rice is cooking on my other Thermomix, so it just depends how you'd like to work it in your own kitchen. So that's going to cook up for another 5 minutes. And yeah, we're pretty good. So I just wanted to give you any questions? I don't see the vegetables in the bottom. Oh, okay.
I think it was Philippa. No, I think it was Philippa that asked if you always put your chicken on the top. It might have been.
So
do you mean that? I think she might have meant
veggies.
Why you wouldn't put your. I think she might have meant why you didn't put your chicken on the bottom part of the varoma rather than the top tray, because she didn't see the veggies were on the bottom initially. I think that's what it was.
Okay, cool. So Eva, yes, this webinar is scheduled to finish at 5:30. So we are 3 minutes until the time is up, which is going to work well for us. So yeah, thanks for joining us. So the one thing I wanted to say about Thai food and cooking it in your Thermomix is the beauty is, as you would have known, you're able to make everything from scratch yourself. And using the beautiful fresh ingredients gives it that, that really great flavors and tastes. There's so much good, healthy goodness in Thai food with the the lime and the lemongrass is apparently a really good source of iron and potassium. The turmeric is a really effective anti-inflammatory that they use in a lot of Thai dishes. The kaffir lime, which comes in dishes, promotes gum health and is really good with digestion. And again, garlic is an antioxidant and also aids in digestion, and apparently it has positive effects on cholesterol and blood pressure. So there's lots of goodness to be found, of course. And then they always say that the best thing to use with Thai cooking is to add a squeeze of lime juice. And they suggest that you always put your lime just before you take it off the heat, or actually right after you've taken it off the heat, and stir it through, and that it's not actually cooked into the meal, because they say if you cook your lime juice into the meal, it dulls the whole flavor of the lime and actually defeats the purpose of popping it in the first place. So maybe just keep that in the back of your mind. But for me, what I've started doing is when they say to put lime in earlier, I just skip out that step and I've started stirring it through at the end. And I really does find it lifts the whole flavor of the dish when you're not cooking the lime into the dish. Yeah, and I think that's really about it for us. I'm going to see if I can plate up my dish. I don't want to keep you more than we need to.
I also wanted to add that a lot of Western jars and mixes and things like that in Thai and Asian cooking have a lot of sugar in them. And they can be quite, yeah, a lot of sugar. And yeah, when you're able to do this yourself, you can control how much sugar is in your food. So yeah, I think that's a really important thing, especially for people with kids. And I also wanted to mention something that Team Turbo has a virtual cooking experience coming up in a week's time, 4 p.m, 24th of October. And come along yourself if you want to come and have a look. We'll be cooking a few different dishes, but it will be a cooking experience kind of theme, meaning it's the basics right from the beginning, and we would like, well, it's awesome for you to bring along a couple of friends or family, neighbors, and you also get some access to host rewards as well. And we've got that limited time offer of the $49 mini vacuum, which is so handy. It's awesome. And then, yeah, we've got that really special extra bowl set bundle happening at the moment for anyone who purchases a Thermomix. So it's a really good time to get in.
On Wednesday.
It's starting on Wednesday. It sure is.
Yeah.
So yeah, our virtual cooking experience is going to be on Sunday, and let us know if you would like to come along. And yeah, love to have
See you then.
Yeah.
You can let us know just by replying to your booking email for this event. So here we go. I've added in all those beautiful veggies, and so I haven't cooked them longer because I didn't want them to turn to mush. So I just steam them for the time and pop them and the chicken into the sauce. So that looks great, and I think I will always have to go with my little bit of lime, which I seem to have lost. That's right, I will squeeze some lime through when I find my lime just now. But there we go.
Just now.
How's it? Shall we present our dishes so that everyone can see how delicious they are?
Yep.
And we will say goodbye. I might
Sounds the plan.
that this kept, even though I use chicken tenderloin, it's really because it's kept, you know, I was on a very slow speed just for a short amount of time. It's kept that nice chunky chicken texture, which we really enjoy. There we go. That's from my kitchen.
And mine.
And mine.
Thanks, ladies and gents, for joining us this beautiful, wet, rainy Sunday afternoon. We're going to enjoy our Thai dinner tonight, and we hope you feel inspired to do some Thai cooking at home. Replace those nasty takeaways with some healthy goodness. We'd love to see you at the VCE next week. It's fun. We're going to make a few favorite dishes, cinnamon scrolls, and with using pizza dough, and just showing new owners what they can make in their Thermomix. So if you've got any friends or family that you think might be interested in joining us, feel free to reach out and we'll send you the invite. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, and we look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Michelle, you can stop recording now.